Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe so you never miss out on our superhero content. Today we're diving into part 2 of our video on the 10 DC and Marvel characters who are almost the same. It's going to be another exciting comparison. So let's get started. Spider-Man versus Sideways. Spider-Man, created by Marvel in 1962 by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, is one of the most iconic and beloved superheroes in comic history. With his red and blue suit and amazing abilities, like his spider sense and wall crawling, Peter Parker became a symbol of youth and responsibility. Sideways, created by DC Comics in 2018 as part of the New Age of Heroes imprint, has a similar concept with a young hero who struggles with personal problems while dealing with extraordinary powers. While their powers differ, with Sideways traveling through dimensional rifts, the similarity between both characters is clear, especially in their story structure. A young hero trying to balance personal life with heroic duties. Wolverine versus Lobo. Wolverine, created by Marvel in 1974, was a response to the lone gunslinger-type heroes with a personal code of honor, like those in Westerns. His popularity grew rapidly, making him one of Marvel's top icons. In contrast, Lobo was introduced by DC Comics in 1983 as a parody of Wolverine. Created by Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen, Lobo was originally meant to be an exaggerated and humorous version of Wolverine, with his tough guy persona and anti-hero attitude. While Lobo faced some setbacks, especially during his reinvention in the New 52, the character found his own identity over time, particularly under the direction of Giffen and Simon Bisley. Both Red Hood 2005 and Winter Soldier 2005 debuted in the same year, sharing a similar backstory. Red Hood was originally introduced as Jason Todd, the second Robin, in the 1980s. After being brutally murdered by the Joker, he was resurrected and turned into a lethal anti-hero. The Winter Soldier, a character with origins in the 1940s, was revived in 2005 when Bucky Barnes, Captain America's former sidekick, was reconditioned as a Soviet assassin. Both characters underwent radical transformations, leaving behind their roles as sidekicks to become younger, darker versions of Batman and Captain America. Swamp Thing versus Man-Thing. Swamp Thing, created by DC Comics in 1971 by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson, was inspired by creatures like Heap from 1942. Alec Holland, a scientist who transforms into a nature elemental after an accident, set a new standard for deeper, more mature storytelling in comics. Man-Thing, created by Marvel in 1971 by Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, and Jerry Conway, shares a similar concept, with Theodore Salas being transformed into a swamp creature after a failed experiment. While both characters were inspired by Heap, it was Swamp Thing's 1984 reimagining by Alan Moore that elevated him to a symbol of adult comics, alongside other characters like John Constantine. Catwoman versus Black Cat. Selina Kyle, or Catwoman, created by DC Comics in 1940, and Felicia Hardy, or Black Cat, created by Marvel Comics in 1979, share a number of similarities, including their impulsive temperaments and irresistible charm. Both are skilled thieves, with a penchant for flirting with a certain Dark Knight and a certain web-slinger. Although Black Cat is often seen as a clear copy of Catwoman, her creator, Marv Wolfman, stated that she was actually inspired by a 1940s cartoon called Bad Luck Blackie. This inspiration is reflected in their early appearances, as the two characters had distinct visual styles and were not immediately alike. While both share the archetype of the seductive, skilled thief, their design and personalities evolved differently, with Catwoman becoming more of an anti-heroine tied to Gotham's dark underworld, while Black Cat's connection to Spider-Man's world is often more chaotic and unpredictable. Aquaman versus Namor. Aquaman, created by DC Comics in 1941, and Namor, created by Marvel Comics in 1939, are two characters that share many similarities. Both are the sons of Atlantean women and mortal men, and both face the dilemma of embracing their royal power and responsibilities or seeking a life on land. Their shared heritage and struggles with leadership create a strong parallel between the two. The main difference between them lies in their personalities and relationships. Namor is often portrayed as an anti-hero or villain, with his complex and sometimes antagonistic behavior towards surface dwellers, including his forbidden love for Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman of the Fantastic Four. On the other hand, Aquaman, while fiercely protective of his people, typically works in harmony with the Justice League and is romantically devoted to Mera, his queen. Doom Patrol vs. X-Men. Doom Patrol, created by Arnold Drake, made its debut in My Greatest Adventure number 80 in 1963, just a few months before the X-Men's first appearance in X-Men number 1. While this brief gap doesn't leave much room for copying ideas, Drake has expressed that he believes Stan Lee may have drawn inspiration from his team. Both groups are composed of individuals who are considered outcasts or freaks, rejected by society due to their extraordinary abilities, and their main purpose is to protect the very people who fear and hate them. While the X-Men grew to be more prominent and popular, becoming a central part of Marvel's universe, Doom Patrol took a different path. The team found new life under writer Grant Morrison, embracing a more surreal and chaotic tone. This reimagined version of the Doom Patrol, with its psychedelic and bizarre elements, is evident in the DC Universe streaming series, which fully captures the group's unique essence. Green Lantern vs. Nova. Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, created by DC Comics in 1940, and Richard Rider, the Nova, created by Marvel Comics in 1976, both share a similar origin story. Both characters are chosen by intergalactic forces, the Green Lantern Corps for Hal and the Nova Corps for Richard, to protect the universe. They are each empowered by an unlimited energy source that is channeled through their rings and suits, giving them the ability to wield immense power. The main difference between them lies in their personalities. Hal Jordan is confident, charming, and often stubborn, with a natural leadership quality that makes him a determined and fearless hero. In contrast, Richard Rider is more humble, generous, and shy, having to grow into his role as a hero and gradually learning to develop more self-esteem and confidence over time. These contrasting traits highlight the unique journeys each character takes as they embrace their cosmic responsibilities. Dr. Fate vs. Doctor Strange. Dr. Fate, created by DC Comics in May 1940, predates Doctor Strange by more than 2 decades. As one of the first magical superheroes in the golden age of comics, Dr. Fate debuted in More Fun Comics number 55, wielding powerful magic and serving as a mystical protector. The character's iconic helmet and cloak, along with his otherworldly powers, made him a unique figure in the early superhero landscape. Doctor Strange, created by Marvel Comics in July 1963, emerged during the Silver Age in Strange Tales number 110. While both characters share a focus on mystical powers, Doctor Strange was introduced in a different era of comics, with a more complex narrative that emphasized his role as Earth's Sorcerer Supreme. Despite their similarities, the characters belong to different comic book legacies, with Dr. Fate coming first and establishing the groundwork for magic-based superheroes. Darkseid vs. Thanos. Darkseid, created by DC Comics in December 1970, made his debut in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 134. As one of the most powerful and influential villains in the DC universe, Darkseid's ambition to control the anti-life equation and dominate the universe established him as a cosmic dictator. His cold, calculating nature and desire for absolute power have made him a formidable adversary to heroes like Superman and the Justice League. Thanos, created by Marvel Comics in February 1973, appeared a few years after Darkseid in Invincible Iron Man number 55. Thanos shares many similarities with Darkseid, including his role as a cosmic tyrant seeking a powerful artifact to reshape the universe. Thanos, however, is more obsessed with death and uses the Infinity Gauntlet to accomplish his goal of eradicating half of all life in the universe. Despite both being iconic villains, Darkseid emerged first, setting the stage for the cosmic threats that followed in superhero comics. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and make sure to subscribe for more awesome content. See you in the next video.